Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum ji. A good afternoon and a very good welcome to everyone. Thank you very much for joining the Habibmetro Bank's webinar on steering towards a more Roshan Pakistan. Today, I'm pleased to share with you that we are joined by a couple of hundred of our international clients and a large group of our Pakistani clients and friends from within the country as well. So thank you very much to all the participants. In addition, I would also like to thank and welcome a very esteemed panel that we have here with us today. I'll just give a very brief introduction, starting off with the Honorable Ambassador of Pakistan to the UAE. Mr. Afzal Mahmood Saab has kindly agreed to join and he's here with us today. We are also joined by the Honorable Governor of the State Bank of Pakistan, Dr. Raza Bakir Saab. In addition, we have the Deputy Governor of the State Bank of Pakistan, Dr. Murtaza Sayyed Sahab. We also have with us the President and MD of the Stock Exchange, Mr. Farooq Khan. We are also joined by Mr. Badiuddin Akbar, who is the CEO for CDC, Central Depository. We are joined by Ms. Maheen Rahman. She is the Chief Executive Officer of Infra Zamin. And we have with us Tahir Malik, who is the President of Reckitt and Benckiser for Africa, Middle East, Asia, and is based in the UAE. हमारा जो आज का ये सेशन है, this is being streamed live on a number of social media platforms such as Habibmetro Bank's Facebook and YouTube channels. The viewers can ask questions in the end. They may leave them in the comment box, and we will ask the speakers the questions towards the end of the session. Very simply, the objective of the session today is to talk about Roshan Digital account, its features and the benefits. For this purpose, in details, I will request in a moment the governor and the deputy governor to talk in detail. But I would just like to add a few introductory comments, such as that the Roshan Digital account is a very innovative idea of the State Bank, and it was launched about 6 months ago. And so far, it has met with tremendous success. And I'm sure you'll get the details in a moment by various speakers. From my side, I would only say that the key features of this account are the simplicity, how you can open an account by being overseas digitally, and the attractive investments that you can make. And more importantly, अगर आपने stock exchange में भी investment करनी हो, तो उसके लिए आसानी से हो सकती है. And that's why we also have both our stock exchange president and the CDC president मौजूद over here. Very quickly and briefly, Habibmetro Bank is a subsidiary of Habib Bank AG Zurich. We operate in 400, we have 400 branches and we operate 140 cities. We are a leading trade finance bank, and our parent company, Habib Bank AG Zurich, has been in service and operations for over 50 years in 10 countries. So we're actually looking forward to serving a lot of our customers globally. We are headquartered out of Switzerland. Before I open up the floor and welcome our panelists, which I will request one by one to join, it is useful to share that UAE is one of the top locations for RDA, with over 25% of the accounts so far that have been opened are from UAE, and 35% of the flows have also come in from the UAE. So UAE is a very important destination. Hence, I would start by requesting the Honorable Ambassador of Pakistan to the UAE, Afzal Mahmood Saab, to share his comments about the RDA offering to non-Pakistan, to non-resident Pakistanis. Ambassador Saab.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'm pleased to welcome with gratitude all brothers and sisters in the UAE and beyond who have joined us at this session, which is very useful to explain what Roshan Digital account is and how it operates and how best we can benefit from this. So I feel honored with the presence of Governor State Bank, Dr. Raza Bakir, and Deputy Governor Murtaza Sayyed Saab, and Mr. Mohsin Ali Nathani, President of Habib Metropolitan Bank. So without their presence and without their guidance and without their support, this session would not have been possible. So I represent Pakistan and Pakistanis in a country where the number of Pakistanis is put up at about 1.6 million. So it is a large number, and They have taken lead in opening account through this digital Roshan Digital account, and we have received very good response from Pakistani community, and it is a win-win for both, for Pakistan as well as for Pakistanis living and working in this country. We come across some of the questions, majority of the questions we are able to address, and we are able to guide people how to open this account and how to benefit from this. But sometimes we do have some technical questions. So this team of panelists today, which I'm really thankful to them for being here. So they would be, I think, able to address most of the questions which we have. So I would encourage all friends in the UAE and beyond who are watching us or who are with us to not only be with us, but they should encourage their friends and their family members who may have some queries, because this type of arrangement is not available to us that frequently. So I would request and appeal all of you to, we have already been communicating through different channels and through different platforms to publicize this session. But again, a request right from here to all friends that share this information with others, and we can only make this session useful to all our brothers, sisters living abroad and wanting to benefit from this. So I thank you very much, and we are in safe hands. I think we would hear more from the Governor of State Bank, the Deputy Governor, and the
बहुत शुक्रिया अफजल महमूद साहब. Thank you very much for your encouraging comments. I would now request Governor Saab to kindly share with us his thoughts and more importantly, the success and progress so far that Roshan Digital account has had in terms of the number of accounts and overall inflows into the country. Governor Saab, over to you. गवर्नर साहब आपका इंटरनेट कनेक्शन आई थिंक थोड़ा सा स्टेबल नहीं लग रहा है. नहीं, मेरे ख्याल से गवर्नर साहब का कनेक्शन आई कैन सी ऑन द स्क्रीन दैट थिंग ट्राई. जी गवर्नर साहब.
जी मोहसिन साहब, आवाज आ रही है जी?
जी अब बिल्कुल क्लियरली आ रही है. बहुत शुक्रिया गवर्नर साहब.
ओके, मैं शुरू कर रहा था. जस्ट शुक्रिया अदा करना चाहता था आपका, हमारे एम्बेसडर अफसार महमूद साहब का, हमारे डिप्टी गवर्नर मुर्जा सैयद साहब का, जिन्होंने इस काम को लीड किया स्टेट बैंक में. हमारे जो आज पैनल डिस्कशंस हैं, उन सब का शुक्रिया अदा करना.
आई थिंक गवर्नर साहब आपका कनेक्शन फिर अनस्टेबल हुआ है इंटरनेट का. मेरा ख्याल है कि मुर्तज़ा साहब को भी स्क्रीन पे साथ ले लेते हैं. तोफैल साहब, मेरा ख्याल है मुर्तज़ा साहब को ऐड कर लेते हैं, क्योंकि गवर्नर साहब के इंटरनेट कनेक्शन में कुछ चैलेंजेस आ रहे हैं. तो मे बी वी कैन रिक्वेस्ट यू टू टेक ओवर अंटिल गवर्नर साहब कैन रीजॉइन विद द मोर स्टेबल कनेक्शन.
Ji, Moses Saab, thank you very much. I'm sorry to say the governor is having some connectivity issues. They can hopefully he'll be able to join us from a more stable connection soon. तो आपका बहुत शुक्रिया मोहसिन साहब, Ambassador Afzal साहब, आपका भी for making the time, all the panelists and of course all the participants in today's webinar. आप सबका बहुत शुक्रिया और आप सबको a very warm welcome. What I'd like to be able to do is to just give you some background कि ये जो Roshan Digital account है, इसका आइडिया हमें कैसे आया, इसमें हमने क्या क्या किया है, And then I have a very short presentation that basically is can walk you through how to open an account, what you can do with the account, and some useful links and resources that I think might be of use to the listeners today. तो सबसे पहले तो हमें ख्याल कैसे आया इस चीज़ का? The Prime Minister, the Honorable Prime Minister Imran Khan Saab, approached the State Bank last year. He had requested us. I think Governor Saab maybe is with us now, and hopefully his internet connection is better. If so, perhaps
Governor Saab is back.
I will try one.
The Governor Saab, we've lost you again. As far as we can see you clearly, but I think आपकी आवाज जो है वो इंटरनेट कनेक्शन की वजह से नहीं आ पा रही है.
Chalenji, sorry about that again. Maybe we can give him a few minutes.
नहीं गवर्नर साहब आपकी वो ऑडिबल नहीं है कनेक्शन.
Gee, unfortunately, these are the perils of Zoom as well, or StreamYard, as it were. लेकिन hopefully he'll be able to join us very soon. जी, he's really wanting to be with us. लेकिन मैं थोड़ा सा आपको इसका background बता दूं. Last year, the Prime Minister Imran Khan Saab had approached the State Bank saying that he really wanted to find a way, a convenient way, to connect the Pakistani diaspora to Pakistan, for them to be able to invest in Pakistan's future and to be connected to Pakistan's economic system. So वो idea tha, that was the genesis of the Roshan Digital account. And then we, of course, got to work and we had to redo a lot of regulations to be able to make it a fully digital experience for our overseas Pakistanis. But what I really want to say is that this is a way of saying thank you to our overseas Pakistanis. Because overseas Pakistanis time and again have bailed Pakistan out in its time of need by sending a lot of remittances to the country, including through the COVID episode that we're going through right now. A lot of people thought that remittances Pakistan mein aur puri duniya mein kafi suffer karengi as a result of the pandemic. Lekin we didn't see that at all in Pakistan. In fact, record remittances so far this year, and really wanted to express our deep appreciation for the overseas Pakistanis who work so hard abroad और हमारे मुल्क का नाम रोशन करते हैं बाहर रह के. तो उनके लिए हम ये प्रोडक्ट लेके आए थे. तो मैं अगर आपको थोड़ा सा इस प्रोडक्ट के बारे में बता दूं, and hopefully while I'm doing that, the governor will be able to join us as well and give us his remarks. In terms of where we are, हमने इस प्रोडक्ट को सितंबर में लॉन्च किया था. उस वक्त हमारे साथ 8 बैंक्स थे. Habibmetro was not one of the banks, but Habibmetro has joined us recently and has actually made up ground very, very fast, is bringing in a lot of deposits. So far, we have over $800 million that have come in through these accounts. We have nearly 113,000 accounts opened from more than 100 countries in the world. Every day, overseas Pakistanis send $6 to $7 million to Pakistan through these accounts. On the weekend, this number goes up. And every day, we have about 600 or 700 accounts being opened, Roshan Digital accounts being opened. So we're off to a very good start. And we really, really look forward to this momentum continuing. So what I'd like to be able to do is just walk you through how to open a Roshan Digital account, what its main features are, and what kind of things you can do once the account has been opened. इस स्कीम के जी 3 बुनियादी फीचर्स हैं that you have to keep in mind. One is that for the first time in Pakistan's history, a customer is actually able to open an account with a bank in Pakistan without having to visit Pakistan, without having to go to that bank branch, and without having to actually leave the comfort of your home or wherever you have an internet connection. You don't have to go to an embassy, a consulate, nothing like that. You can open the account fully digitally in a presenceless manner. The accounts that you can open are both in Pakistani rupees as well as in foreign currency. All the major currencies of the world are available to you. आप ये अकाउंट कन्वेंशनल फॉर्म में भी खोल सकते हैं, इस्लामिक फॉर्म में भी खोल सकते हैं, और अगर आपके पास सारी डॉक्यूमेंट्स हों और आपने सही से ऑनलाइन चीज़ें भर दी हों, तो within 48 hours you can have an account in Pakistan. This wasn't possible before. You used to have to spend many weeks in Pakistan. Sometimes your account would not be open. You'd have to go back to where you lived. So this is really a sea change in how you can open an account in Pakistan. The second is that once you've opened the account, a full lifestyle suite of banking services are made available to you. You can perform all banking activities in Pakistan. You can transfer money to your loved ones. You can buy gifts for them.
मुर्तज़ा साहब आपका भी आई थिंक थोड़ा सा इंटरनेट का कनेक्शन अब तक यू आर वेरी क्लियर, थोड़ा सा अनस्टेबल हुआ है कनेक्शन.
Can you hear me better now, Ji?
जी, now we can hear you, Mursal sahab.
Okay, excellent. Sorry about that. Achaji, the third important thing about the accounts is that they're fully repatriable, which means that anytime that you want the money to be remitted back to where you live, you can do so without any hassle, without needing any regulatory approvals or anything. So these are the three main features of the Roshan Digital account. How do you actually open one? There are multiple ways in which you can do that. One is that you can go to the State Bank website, and very prominently, you will see a banner for the Roshan Digital account. You'll see the logo. Click on that and it'll take you to the official page for Roshan Digital account. Or if you type State Bank Roshan Digital account in your Google search bar, you will actually come to the main page and you will get all the information, relevant information about the Roshan Digital account on our official page, including frequently asked questions and including a step-by-step process for opening the account. The other way in which you can do so is actually to go to the website of the 11 participating banks. Habibmetro is, of course, one of them. And when you go to those bank websites, you will see, again, very prominently, a link to the Roshan Digital account. You can click on that and you can begin the account opening process. We have tried to streamline very much the kind of information that you will need to provide to open the account, as well as the documents that will be needed. Left side पे आप देख सकते हैं कि account खोलने के लिए बहुत basic information, your name, your nationality, email address, contact information, your existing bank account details, very, very basic information, no more than 25 to 30 fields to fill out. And on the right-hand side, the kind of documents that you need have also been streamlined a lot. Just some basic information to prove that you're an overseas Pakistani. This can be a CNIC, a NICOP, a Pakistan origin card, scans of your passport, a proof of profession, and a proof of the source of your income or funds. And here, a variety of documents are possible. Any one of those documents can be used. For example, if you are self-employed, you can show a business registration document. If you happen to work somewhere, you can show a bank account statement or an employment letter or a salary slip. And even those people that don't actually have a job, for example, pensioners or housewives, for example, or spouses that don't work, wo bhi account khol sakte hain. They just have to show a proof of income, and they can use, of course, for example, a pension slip or the income of their spouse. In addition to that, you'll be asked to take a live photo and a digital or electronic signature, all very, very simple. Agar aapke paas ye sab cheezein hoon, to this can actually be done within half an hour. And after that, in 48 hours, your account in Pakistan can be opened. What are the kind of things you can do with the account once it's opened? We're very excited about this. We're going to build more products like these going forward. The first thing is that you can actually pay bills for your families and for your loved ones here in Pakistan. This includes utility and school bills, e-commerce. Aapko debit cards or ATM cards bhi mil jayenge, which you can use in Pakistan, outside Pakistan. They can be used also by your loved ones here. The other very exciting investment opportunity that you can avail through the Roshan Digital account is the Naya Pakistan certificate. I'll have more to say about that in a minute. But these are excellent returns on risk-free Pakistani rupee and foreign currency government bonds. Last two things, you can invest in stocks in Pakistan, all the equities on the Pakistan Stock Exchange, mutual funds, other stocks that are listed. And you can also buy property in Pakistan, both residential and commercial. It can be a plot of land, it can be built property, and you can actually sell that anytime you want as well. You can rent it, and you can put the proceeds into your Roshan Digital account and repatriate them whenever you want. We have also been getting feedback from the diaspora through webinars and through other means. And we have been responding to that feedback, and we have been enriching the Roshan Digital account scheme just give you a few examples of what we've done in the last few weeks. First, we have introduced Naya Pakistan certificates that were only available before in Pakistani Rupee and US dollars. We've also now made them available in Euro and the Great British Pound in response to demand from the diaspora living there. Secondly, we have simplified the tax treatment of all your investments and all the transactions that you do through the Roshan Digital account. These are now full and final. You do not need to file a tax return with FBR. ये बड़ी मुश्किल से हमने FBR के साथ किया है, but I think it's a very, very good outcome for our overseas Pakistanis. They don't have to be worried about filing tax returns on their RDA-related transactions. On our website, you will see the taxes that now apply to the investments as well as the transactions, and you will see that these are very streamlined. The third thing we've been able to do is that we got some feedback. Sometimes customers were being charged a lot in terms of their remittances, both into Pakistan as well as out of Pakistan. We've been able to negotiate these down. The Pakistani banks themselves are not charging anything now on the inward and outward remittances. And most of their correspondent or intermediary banks have agreed to reduce the charges from what used to be $40, $60 per transaction to no more than $5 to $9 per transaction. So this is also a big change which we have been able to bring for our RDA customers. And finally, we are expanding the product suite. As I said before, एक lifestyle suite of products हम offer करना चाहते हैं. इसमें we are very soon going to launch an auto loan, which will be very, very attractively priced for RDA customers. इसमें और भी facilitation होगी, गाड़ी जल्दी मिल जाया करेगी. It'll be fully insured, registered, so that your co-borrowers in Pakistan don't have to go through any hassle. We're also thinking about adding a housing loan and different annuity products going forward. Let me just say a few things about the Naya Pakistan certificate, which is a very important, I think, investment opportunity for our RDA account holders. These are government bonds that are administered by the state bank and therefore carry the full backing of the sovereign. They're available in different tenors, short-term, 3, 6, 12 month, as well as long-term, 3 and 5 years. You can also encash these early. The returns are very attractive, especially at a time when global interest rates are very close to zero. Risk-free interest rates in the Western world are very close to zero. In US dollar, it's between 5.5% and 7%. Great British Pound may 5.25 to 6.5%. Euro may 4.75 to 5.75%. And in Pak Rupee, 9.5 to 11%. These are all annualized rates. The tax treatment is very simple. As with other RDA transactions, there's no tax filing required, and there's a 10% withholding tax on profit that is withheld at source. So you don't have to worry about paying that tax yourself at all. These Naya Pakistan certificates are available both in conventional form as well as Sharia compliant form for those overseas Pakistanis who will rather invest in an Islamic compliant way. And again, these certificates are fully repatriable. So anytime you need the money back, you can remit the money back to where you live without any hassle. One more thing I will say for those participants in today's webinar that are living in Pakistan, the Naya Pakistan certificates are also available to those resident Pakistanis who have declared assets abroad with FBR. वो भी ये avail कर सकते हैं by opening a Roshan Digital account. Let me just say how we are ensuring that जो हमारा experience है of our diaspora is very, very good, because we are very focused on making sure that the customer experience is exemplary and world class. इसमें हम banks के साथ constantly engaged हैं. We've asked them to have live customer support, a dedicated complaint helpline, and email. They report on a daily basis to us. The governor, myself, other senior officers look at that daily report. It tells us the number and size of accounts per bank, the time taken for them to open accounts and do different transactions, and the nature of complaints that they're receiving from the account holders. We ourselves on the state bank side have a special monitoring unit. We engage with banks to resolve the complaints of the users. We solicit feedback from the diaspora in webinars and other interactions. And we, of course, monitor social media quite strongly to make sure that any issues that people are having are dealt with expeditiously. And indeed, we have an email as well. अगर आपके भी जो लोग आज इस webinar पे हैं, they want to write directly to us, they can do so at rdasupport@sbp.org.pk with their ideas, with their feedback, with any problems that they're having, and we are committed to solving those problems very, very quickly. From time to time, we're also disseminating the number of accounts, the size of inflows, and other information about Roshan Digital account. We use our Twitter quite a lot for that, and I'm sure some of the listeners on today's webinar will have seen that recently we tweeted about crossing $800 million in the Roshan Digital account. Let me just end then with some useful resources. There's the Roshan Digital account website that I told you about. We also have a Naya Pakistan certificate website. If you go on the State Bank's website, again, you will see this very prominently displayed in our banner. It has information about the certificates. In addition, we are very active on social media. We'd encourage you to go and follow us on Twitter, on Facebook, YouTube as well. Our Twitter handle is statebank_PAK, and you will get all kinds of information about Roshan Digital account, as well as other schemes that the State Bank is launching. And finally, on our website, on YouTube, there are other things that I think will be of use. There's the governor's message for overseas Pakistanis. There's an official video that we have made. There's a question and answers video. And if you go to the Naya Pakistan certificate or Roshan Digital account website, you'll also find downloadable brochures that you can use. You can email them to your friends. You can share them by WhatsApp. This is both for the Roshan Digital account as well as the Naya Pakistan certificate. And we'd really ask you to try, if you haven't already, to try and open an RDA account. If you have a good experience, please help us in spreading the word. Let us know your feedback as well. Write to us at rdasupport@sbp.org.pk. And we really hope that this product will be something that will meet the different needs that our overseas Pakistanis have. So I'll end it there, Mohsin Saab, and return forward to the question and answers. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Murtaza Saab. This was a wonderful summary outlining the key features, and very importantly, I think बहुत successful response जो आपने बताया कि 600-700 accounts per day, $6-7 million coming in every day is truly remarkable, and inshallah the momentum seems to be very strong. We hope to see a lot more of flows coming in. आपने features भी बहुत सारे बताए जो कि इस वक्त available हैं और मजीद जो आप लोग add कर रहे हैं. But here what I would like to do is to invite Farooq Khan, the MD of the stock exchange, because one of the key features you talked about was being able to invest in the stock exchange. So Farooq, it would be great if you can share your views on what has been the sentiment so far from the RDA offering, and what kind of flows have we recently seen, and how is the momentum going on? And finally, if there's any other investor feedback that you would like to share with us. So over to you, Farooq.
Sure. Thank you so much, Mohsin, for inviting me to this panel. और जिस तरह डिप्टी गवर्नर साहब ने भी एक्सप्लेन किया, ये जो RDA का इनिशिएटिव है जो कि गवर्नमेंट ने और स्टेट बैंक ने और सारे बैंक्स और प्राइवेट सेक्टर ने भी जिसमें होल हार्टेडली पार्टिसिपेट किया, ये वाकई एक पाथ ब्रेकिंग इनिशिएटिव है और जिससे हमारी कैपिटल मार्केट्स और बैंकिंग सेक्टर में जो लिंकेजेस क्रिएट हुए हैं और उससे जो अपॉर्चुनिटीज क्रिएट हुई हैं फॉर आवर ओवरसीज पाकिस्तानीज टू बी एबल टू बोथ support, invest in and benefit from the economic growth of Pakistan. PSX, जो कि is one of the oldest markets in Asia, or consistently for long-term investors, it has consistently given good returns. मगर ये चीज़ इतनी आसान नहीं थी overseas Pakistanis के लिए access करना और invest करना, और अब ये एक बहुत ही major initiative है कि आप घर पे ऑफिस में कहीं भी दुनिया में आराम से बैठकर बैंक अकाउंट भी खोल सकते हैं और जिस तरह उन्होंने कहा बाकी इन्वेस्टमेंट प्रोडक्ट्स को भी एक्सेस कर सकते हैं, जिसमें म्यूचुअल फंड्स भी शामिल हैं, जिसमें डायरेक्ट स्टॉक मार्केट की इन्वेस्टमेंट भी शामिल है। और ओवरसीज पाकिस्तानीज के लिए, और मैं ये सेंट्रल बैंक को भी इसमें मुबारक दूंगा कि इस क्वार्टर पाकिस्तान का रुपी माशाल्लाह हैज़ बीन द स्ट्रॉन्गेस्ट करेंसी इन द वर्ल्ड। So overseas Pakistanis को तो एक डबल बेनिफिट माशाल्लाह मिल रहा है अभी कि इस करेंसी भी स्ट्रांग हो रही है और मार्केट की परफॉर्मेंस भी बेहतर होती जा रही है। और अगर आप देखेंगे मार्केट की परफॉर्मेंस को हमने एनालिसिस किया था पिछले 10 साल में, तो पिछले 10 साल में डॉलर टर्म्स में जो रिटर्न पाकिस्तान की मार्केट का रहा है वो तकरीबन 3 से 4% के करीब ज़्यादा है compared to MSCI का emerging market index, जो कि एक standard benchmark है जो सारे investors use करते हैं to compare performance of different markets. So this is a huge outperformance, and most fund managers would give an arm and a leg to get that sort of outperformance. So मैं encourage करूँगा कि एक proper research के साथ about 42 brokers, 46 brokers जो हैं वो connected हैं अब RDA की scheme के साथ, proper research कर अपने accounts को set up करें. We've had about almost 1.3 billion of rupees of inflows coming into the stock market, जो कि overall proportion छोटा है, मगर बैंक अकाउंट खोलना एक सिंपलर डिसीजन होती है, फिर आगे इन्वेस्टमेंट की डिसीजन में थोड़ा सा सोच समझ कर थोड़ा टाइम लगता है. सो आई एम श्योर ये फ्लोज जो हैं दे विल कंटिन्यू टू इंक्रीज, मगर सबसे ज़रूरी चीज़ ये है कि इनफ्लोज आउटफ्लोज तो होती रहती है, कि ये एक सिस्टम और ये एक जो पाथवे जो है बहुत आसान बन गया है ओवरसीज पाकिस्तानीज के लिए टू बी एबल टू इन्वेस्ट in the Pakistan Stock Exchange.
Thank you very much, Farooq. Very encouraging again, as you shared कि 1.3 billion की investment आ चुकी है, but more importantly आसानी से account खुल रहे हैं और कई लोगों ने account खोल दिए हैं. So clearly we are very excited about the potential that this scheme is offering for investing in the stock market. Now we'll go on to our next panelist, Badiuddin साहब से मैं पूछूंगा, क्योंकि obviously the investment in the stock market is only possible through the CDC. And here, Badiuddin Sahab, aap aur aapka idara and your team play a very important role. So would you be kind enough to just share with us your thoughts कि NRPs किस तरह से invest कर सक रहे हैं पाकिस्तान स्टॉक एक्सचेंज में, और इसमें क्या प्रोसेस है और CDC का क्या रोल है, एंड फाइनली अगर कोई फीडबैक आपको स्पेसिफिकली मिला हो तो इट वुड बी ग्रेट इफ यू कैन शेयर दैट विद अस एज वेल. बदियुद्दीन साहब का जो है ना इंटरनेट कनेक्शन सही नहीं है, स्टेबल नहीं है. बदियुद्दीन साहब, आप कैन यू हियर अस? नहीं, आपकी आवाज नहीं आ रही है. maybe Badiuddin Sahab, I can request you to log in, and until you do that I can go on to the next panelist, Mahina Haiman Sahiba ko, and I can ask her thoughts on कि क्या views हैं on the engagement of non-resident Pakistanis to increase the flow of investment in the country. और ये जो सारा इनिशिएटिव है माहिन RDA का, जिसमें हमने बहुत उम्दा रिस्पांस देखा है. So from where you sit, can you kindly share with us what response you are seeing, what feedback are you getting, and if there are any suggestions for us?
Jay, thank you very much. I think this has been a big ask of the government for a while now, that how do we engage non-resident Pakistanis, and this scheme has proved to be very successful on that front. I think the ease at which Pakistanis abroad are able to open their accounts, that has been a big factor in the success. I think also as we are seeing slowly investment avenues जो हैं वो भी और add-on हो रहे हैं, particularly stock market, mutual funds, real estate, etc. I think these are all very positive signs. I mean, if we look at it from the basic economic framework of the country, 2008 में अगर हम देखें तो उस टाइम पे हमारा FDI flows जो आते थे into our current capital accounts, that was almost $5 billion. और अब जो, if we look at the same number now, that is trickled down to $1 billion. So these flows are very welcome, and they lend a lot of support to the current account, to the currency, and to the overall economic framework of the country. I think as far as the investment options available, it would be great if NRPs could also educate themselves about what are the different stocks that they can invest in, what are the different funds they can be part of, what are the many options available on the real estate side. And I think, as banks or as other financial institutions, we can certainly reach out and be clear in terms of our direction as to what is available and how they should be looking at particularly the areas of the stock market, etc. Because yes, 1.3 billion is a great number to start off with, but to have deeper engagement, it would be good to have more information out about what exactly they should be investing in on that front. But I think overall, this is a big positive step for the country. This was much needed in terms of dismantling of certain amount of control on the foreign exchange side. And I think as it has kicked off in such an encouraging way, we hope to see this number, cross the 1 billion, 2 billion mark, and really add to the overall stock of foreign exchange reserve in the country. And that in itself lends tremendous stability to the overall economic framework.
Thank you very much, Mind. We are all encouraged that the flows are looking very good. And आपने 1 से 2 billion की बात की, inshallah, the way the momentum is, we should all expect to do even more than this. I think Governor Saab has joined. I see it on the screen. Governor Saab, are you back on the online? Because if you are, so we will give you the floor before inviting Tahir Malik Saab. Just want to see if you are able to hear us, because I see you on the screen. नहीं, I think Governor Saab की screen आ रही है, but
Mr. Saab, I just got a message from the governor. He's going to try his best to join us at 4:15. He's trying to deal with the connectivity issue, and so you're seeing him pop up right now, but that's not him. That's just a test. But he's trying his best. 4:15 तक वो हमें join कर लें if the connectivity issues allow.
ठीक है. That's thank you very much, Murtaza Saab. What we'll do is we'll continue with the other speakers and then revert to Governor Saab as soon as he joins. Badiuddin Saab was trying to join, but I think unke line mein koi problem hai. But we'll go to Tahir Malik, who, as I said, is the president for Reckitt and Benckiser Middle East and Africa, and we are very excited, Tahir, to have you with us today, because you are typically the non-resident Pakistani जिनके लिए scheme launch की गई है. So we'd love to hear your views in terms of कि क्या आपका account खोलने के बारे में view पहले था, अब क्या है, and how do you see this RDA offering benefiting the overseas diaspora of Pakistanis?
Thank you, Mohsin. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. From my perspective, I think Roshan Digital account is an absolute game changer. I've been a non-resident Pakistani for about 17, 18 years out of my 25 years career. And I think as we work out and save some money, I think what we look for is safety of the investment, rate of return, ease of use, but also flexibility. कि पूरा पैसा फंसा नहीं, आप short period करिए, long period करिए. And some of these historically have been pain points for us. I'll give you a personal story before I come to the Roshan Digital experience. When I think a few years ago, when I was the president of Latin America, based out of Sao Paulo, I wanted to put my money in Pakistan. Apna mulk hai, state bank बहुत robust hai, you feel safe, and rate of returns were okay. I had to fly down. I had to fly down from Sao Paulo to Karachi with a file to open up an account. And as I flew back, I was told कि जी 3-4 सवाल और आ गए हैं. So it was a nightmare to open up an account. But finally, alhamdulillah, khul gaya. And then I sent money in. I had to answer more questions. And I asked my banker कि जी पैसा भेज रहा हूँ, salaried account है. ताहिर मलिक अपने account से अपने account में भेज रहा है. ये pay slips हैं. क्या सवाल पूछने हैं? But anyways, we had to go through this. It was fine. Till the moment of truth happened. मुझे $30,000 वापस भेजने थे out of the big pot of money that I sent to Pakistan. And I had to go around for 45 days. उन्होंने कहा जी audit में फंस गया, नहीं भेज सकते. And I told my banker last time that I'm putting money in Pakistan, and I put my money in Jersey. And I think now with this Roshan Digital account, I think all those frustrations are resolved. Safety remains. Pakistan, I think, is one of the safest places to keep money. Rate of return is phenomenal. I think one thing we should shout even more is 5 to 7% rate of return on a US dollar is unheard of without any risks. Ease of use, I think it's very easy digitally. You don't have to fly in. You can play around with the website and you can do it in less than an hour. But also flexibility. You can do it for 5 years, for 3 months, for 6 months. So I think this has been a phenomenal game changer. And I'm personally committing to make sure that all my pots of money which are here and there are all coming in.
Thank you very much, Tahir. And I'm sure जो आपने feedback दिया है, that must be a delight for Murtaza साहब to hear कि कितनी आसानी हो गई है और जो challenges past में हमारे overseas पाकिस्तानीज face करते थे वो किस हद तक ना सिर्फ resolve हो गए हैं बल्कि बहुत attractive return भी मिल रहे हैं. And जैसे मुर्तज़ा साहब ने भी फरमाया था कि इसमें और product offerings को expand करते जा रहे हैं ताकि पाकिस्तानी ओवरसीज जो उनके लिए सहूलियात बहुत ज़्यादा हो जाएं. So this is wonderful, Tahir, and on a lighter note, I hope all your money will come in through Habibmetro Bank. So that adds to our to our contribution to the country.
I have a few suggestions. I think I wanted to keep it towards the end. I think as we always look at things that are absolutely working, off to a great start. I think everybody's talking about it. I think now it's time to consider a few things. One is move from a communication perspective. I think move from broad communication to hyper targeting. I think if you look at, let's say, the Pakistanis abroad, 8, 9, 10 million, yes, bulk of them are in Middle East, but also in UK, in US, in EU. We could geographically target them. We could also target them on a need basis. I think there are people who are, जो कहते हैं remittances भेजते हैं, need के जी सस्ते से सस्ता पैसा भेजा जाते हैं, but also people who want to invest. But also, I think there are also a sizable chunk or a decent amount of high net worth individuals जिसको हम hyper target कर सकते हैं. I was talking to a group of my friends. They were trying to sell me कि जी US Swiss bank में private banker है, आपको साथ करेंगे, and then they'll give you 5 to 7% return with some minimal risks. And I told him कि without a private banker, with zero risk, आप Roshan Digital में डालें, 5 to 7% ले लें. So I think there also could be some hyper targeting efforts to go out on, after these different Pakistanis with different need states. And I think that could really, take this to the next level.
That's a useful point. I'm sure Murtaza Sahab, if he wants to comment on it, he could do that. मैंने जैसे अपने opening में कहा था कि we through our parent bank Habib Bank Zurich operate in 10 countries, and we are actually looking forward to serving clients of our overseas operations, and we have been in discussions with them. So yes, we will do that on a targeted basis. But Murtaza Sahab, do you want to say anything before I request Badruddin Sahab, who had joined us back, to conclude his comments?
Sure, thanks very much, Mohsin Saab. I'm very glad to hear from Tahir Malik Saab that he feels that this is a totally changed experience in terms of opening an account in Pakistan. And say that I was an overseas Pakistani myself for many years and felt the same frustration that I think he was alluding to. But I think specifically, Tahir Saab, on your suggestion to move from broad communication to more targeted approach, this is exactly where we want to go now. I think now that we have much more data on the flows that are coming in through these accounts, more than 100,000 accounts have been opened, more than $800 million have come in. I think we are trying to segment now the customers and trying to have a much more sort of tailored approach depending on where the customer is and what kind of needs that customer has. And I think you will see going forward, both in our communication as well as the kind of products that we offer, we'll be thinking much more about the spectrum of overseas Pakistanis. Some people might want to, as I said, avail of an auto loan for their family living here. Somebody might want to save up for their son or daughter's wedding. Somebody might want an annuity product. Somebody might be more interested in actually getting a loan for a house. So we're thinking about products and also our communication and targeting strategy in exactly the way that you're laying out. So that was I think, something very, very useful to hear.
Thank you very much, Murtaza Sahab. We'll eventually take most questions as they come up. But Badruddin Sahab, आप sorry उस वक्त disconnect हो गए थे जब मैंने आपसे सवाल पूछा था. So would request you to kindly share your views before we open up the forum. नहीं, I think Badruddin Sahab का internet connection अभी भी जो है ना clear stable नहीं है. जी बदरुद्दीन साहब.
Can you hear us, जी?
जी I can hear you. जी आपका कैमरा बंद है, इससे वॉइस बेहतर हो रही है, तो मे बी वॉइस आई थिंक अगर आप कैमरा बंद रखें तो शायद आपकी वॉइस की क्वालिटी बेहतर रहेगी.
जी आवाज आ रही है मेरी मोहसिन साहब?
जी बिल्कुल अब आ रही है आपकी आवाज क्लियरली.
जी देखिए, इसके अंदर जो हमारा एक्सपीरियंस है, इसका जो रोशन डिजिटल का एक्सपीरियंस है, दिस इज एन वंडरफुल एक्सपीरियंस फॉर ऑल द नॉन रेजिडेंट पाकिस्तानी. इसको फर्स्ट टाइम इन द हिस्ट्री ऑफ पाकिस्तान पूरा जो स्टॉक मार्केट की इन्वेस्टमेंट है इसको डायरेक्टली डिजिटाइज कर दिया गया है कि वंस यू ओपन योर अकाउंट विद द बैंक, सेम इंफॉर्मेशन की बेसिस के ऊपर यू कैन ओपन डायरेक्टली अकाउंट विद द स्टॉक चेंज एंड द कस्टडी अकाउंट विद सीडीसी एज वेल. दिस इज अ वंडरफुल स्टेप फॉर द इन्वेस्टमेंट इन पाकिस्तान. इसके अंदर ये बहुत ही सिंपल सा प्रोसेस है कि जब आपको 48 आवर्स में, जैसे मुर्तज़ा साहब ने कहा कि 48 आवर्स में जैसे ही आपका बैंक अकाउंट ओपन होता है, विद इन 24 आवर्स योर अकाउंट विल ओपन डायरेक्टली इन द स्टॉक चेंज एज वेल. You do not need to submit any additional documentation. You do not need to visit any brokerage house. You have just give the consent to the respective bank. For example, आपका अकाउंट Habibmetro के साथ बैंक अकाउंट ओपन हो गया है, तो then you can just give a simple consent to Habibmetro कि आपकी information that those you have shared with Habibmetro that can be shared with CDC, and CDC will be act as a bridge between the stock exchange and the brokerage industry. आपकी वो जो information है वो directly share कर दी जाएंगी to the respective broker as well. Once जब आपकी इंफॉर्मेशन सीडीसी से शेयर हो जाए तो आप जस्ट अपना सिंपल कंसेंट दें कि आप स्टॉक मार्केट में इन्वेस्ट करने के लिए ये इंफॉर्मेशन सीडीसी को शेयर करें. उसके बाद देन जैसे फरोज साहब ने कहा कि मोर देन 40-45 ब्रोकर्स आर देयर. आप अपनी चॉइस के हिसाब से अपने ब्रोकर को सेलेक्ट करें. उसके बाद जो स्टॉक मार्केट की अपनी स्टैंडर्ड टर्म्स एंड कंडीशन है आप उसको एग्री करें. देन यू आर ओके टू गो फॉर द इन्वेस्टमेंट इन दिस स्टॉक एक्सचेंज. ये बड़ा सिंपल सा प्रोसेस है जी. जो लोग स्टॉक एक्सचेंज में काम करते हैं, जैसे ताहिर साहब ने बताया कि जो पहले जिस तरह से होता था और अब जिस तरह से होता है, इट वाज अ रियली अ नाइटमेयर एंड हार्ड नट टू क्रैक. कोई इंडिविजुअल पाकिस्तान में अपना सैकड़ा अकाउंट ओपन करे और सैकड़ा अकाउंट ओपन करने के बाद स्टॉक मार्केट में इन्वेस्ट करें एंड देन दे कैन रिपैट्रिएट. तो इस अकाउंट का जो सबसे फ्लैगशिप फीचर ये है कि आप इजीली स्टॉक मार्केट में इन्वेस्ट करें और आपकी रिपैट्रिएशन विदाउट एनी फर्दर डॉक्यूमेंट और इंफॉर्मेशन आस्क्ड बाय स्टेट बैंक ऑफ पाकिस्तान, you can emit your fund after investment in stock exchange as well. Recently, after stock exchange, हमने इसकी investment को with the approval of the State Bank and SCCB, you can channelize your investment in the mutual fund industry as well. तो आपके पास दोनों एवेन्यू पाकिस्तान की वंडरफुल फाइनेंशियल मार्केट के अवेलेबल हैं. You can directly invest in the stock exchange, you can invest in the mutual fund as well without any malware intervention. This is a complete digital experience, first time in the history of Pakistan. इसके साथ साथ दूसरा जो फीचर्स है कि आप स्टॉक एक्सचेंज की तमाम जो बुक बिल्डिंग में पार्टिसिपेट कर सकते हैं, आप आईपीओ के अंदर पार्टिसिपेट कर सकते हैं. सीडीसी ने अपना एक पूरा डिजिटलाइज ई आईपीओ पोर्टल बनाया हुआ है. अब रिसेंटली स्टॉक एक्सचेंज का भी एक बड़ा रूबस्ट ई आईपीओ का पोर्टल आने वाला है कि जिसके ऊपर आप डायरेक्टली विदाउट हैविंग एनी मैनुअल और फिजिकल डॉक्यूमेंटेशन आप डायरेक्टली बुक बिल्डिंग और आईपीओ के अंदर आप पार्टिसिपेट कर सकते हैं. इसका जो पूरा फोकस है कि जैसे नॉन रेजिडेंट पाकिस्तानी इंडिविजुअल के लिए स्टेट बैंक ने आरडीए के लिए खोला हुआ है, इसी तरह से स्टॉक एक्सचेंज और पूरी इस इकोसिस्टम का फोकस भी रिटेल इन्वेस्टर्स के ऊपर है. क्योंकि आजकल कि पूरे वर्ल्ड के अंदर जो डायनामिक्स है हैज बीन चेंज फ्रॉम कॉर्पोरेट टू इंडिविजुअल्स. और पाकिस्तान स्टॉक एक्सचेंज के अंदर भी आप इस साथ मोर देन 65% जो ट्रेडिंग वॉल्यूम है दैट इज पर्टेनिंग टू द रिटेल इन्वेस्टर्स. तो इस सब पीएसएस का, सीडीसी और जो एनसीसीपीएल, हम सबका फोकस रिटेल इन्वेस्टर पे ज्यादा है ताकि जितना उनको ईज ऑफ डूइंग बिजनेस के ऊपर उनको प्रमोट किया जाएगा स्टॉक एक्सचेंज और कैपिटल मार्केट में इन्वेस्टमेंट उसी से चैनलाइज होगी. इट इज अ कंप्लीट डिजिटल एक्सपीरियंस. आप आए, बैंक अकाउंट ओपन करें, आप स्टॉक एक्सचेंज में इन्वेस्ट करें, आप म्यूचुअल फंड में इन्वेस्ट करें और इजीली अपने पैसे रिपैट्रिएट करें. आपको किसी किस्म की कोई दुश्वारी नहीं है. सीडीसी ने आपके लिए सर्विसेज स्टार्ट की है कि आप डायरेक्टली आपके शेयर्स और आपका कैश डायरेक्टली सीडीसी के पास एक कस्टोडियन रहेगा. आप जितनी चाहे इन्वेस्टमेंट कर सकते हैं और अपनी इन्वेस्टमेंट को वापस भी लेके जा सकते हैं. इस सिलसिले में अगर जिन्होंने अकाउंट नहीं खोले हैं, जो अकाउंट खोलना चाहते हैं, वी आर हियर फॉर एनी क्वेश्चन आस्क्ड. और देन वेलकम जी, ओवर टू यू.
जी बदरुद्दीन साहब, थैंक यू वेरी मच. आपने बड़ा अच्छा समराइज कर दिया एंड आई थिंक नॉट ओनली अकाउंट खोलना आसान हो गया है लेकिन बहुत ही अच्छी तरीके से ऑपरेट करने की सहूलियात हो गई हैं. वी हैव रिसीव्ड लॉट्स ऑफ क्वेश्चंस व्हिच आई विल आस्क टू द ग्रुप हियर एंड आई विल पॉइंट टू द क्वेश्चन जहाँ पे मेरे ख्याल से रेलेवेंस जिनकी होगी, बट एनीबडी एल्स कैन आल्सो आंसर द क्वेश्चन शुड दे विश टू. एंड जिस स्टेज पे गवर्नर साहब ज्वाइन करेंगे तो वी विल लेट हिम इन अकॉर्डिंगली. तो मुझसे साहब कुछ सवाल आए जो कि मेरे ख्याल से यू आर बेस्ट सूटेड टू आंसर देम. ये आया कि जी कैन यू प्लीज कंफर्म इफ द रेट ऑफ रिटर्न विल स्टे लॉक्ड इन फॉर 5 years if the investment is made for 5 years or will the rate fluctuate?
जी मोहसिन साहब, इसका तो बड़ा आसान जवाब है. the rate will be fixed for the tenor that you have bought the नया पाकिस्तान certificate for. तो अगर आपने 5 साल का ले लिया तो it will not change in those 5 years. 3 साल का लिया, it will not change in those 3 years. So yes, the answer is it will be fixed. And Moses Saab, unfortunately, I just got a message from the governor. He's not able to log on, and he unfortunately has to go to another meeting now. So he's very sorry that he had problems logging on today, but looks forward to another opportunity to interact.
ठीक है जी, thank you very much. आपके होने से I'm sure we able to deal with all the questions and the overview जो ज़रूरत थी. So I'll just put out the questions to you and the other panelists as they come in. My next question is to Farooq, which is why should one invest in Pakistan Stock Exchange versus other investment avenues, and is the profit earned on investments also repatriable or just the principal?
जी थैंक यू मोहसिन, ये बहुत ही ये इम्पोर्टेंट सवाल है और किसी भी इन्वेस्टमेंट को बाकी इन्वेस्टमेंट के साथ कंपेयर कर और कोई भी जो हो इन्वेस्टर वो अपना एक पोर्टफोलियो बिल्ड करता है जिसके अंदर अगर आप ओवरसीज में बैठे हुए हैं तो शायद दूसरी मार्केट्स में भी आपका अपॉर्चुनिटी हो और उनको भी देखना चाहिए. मगर जिस तरह मैंने कहा कि पाकिस्तान की मार्केट में लॉन्ग टर्म इन्वेस्टर्स का रिटर्न एक्चुअली हैज़ बिन वर्ल्ड बीटिंग. बहुत अच्छे रिटर्न रहे हैं. The returns have been better than almost any other emerging market over a long period of time. और ये मैं डॉलर रिटर्न की बात कर रहा हूँ, तो डिवैल्यूएशन के बाद की रिटर्न्स की बात कर रहा हूँ. मगर कोई भी इन्वेस्टमेंट सोच समझ के करनी चाहिए. जो आपने दूसरा सवाल पूछा कि रिपैट्रिएशन का, बिल्कुल रिपैट्रिएशन जिस तरह पहले भी क्लैरिफाई किया, आपके प्रॉफिट की, डिविडेंड्स की, कैपिटल गेन्स की, एवरीथिंग इज अलाउड टू बी रिपैट्रिएटेड थ्रू योर बैंकिंग अकाउंट, योर RDA अकाउंट. और ये मैं आपको बताऊं, आई थिंक दो चीज़ों का बहुत सारे पाकिस्तानी दे मे हैव लेफ्ट पाकिस्तान मेनी ईयर्स अगो और उनको शायद इतना आइडिया नहीं हो कि हमारे जो है, हमारा जो रेगुलेटरी ओवरसाइट है वो कितनी स्ट्रांग हो चुकी है पाकिस्तान में. जो PSX एज अ फ्रंटलाइन रेगुलेटर, SECP एज द एपेक्स रेगुलेटर, और 1991 में इंटरनेशनल इन्वेस्टर्स के लिए पाकिस्तान स्टॉक मार्केट उस वक्त कराची स्टॉक एक्सचेंज जो ओपन हुआ था. तो ऑलमोस्ट 25-30 साल का एक बहुत एक्सपीरियंस और ट्रैक रिकॉर्ड है for foreign investors to be able to invest in the Pakistan market and to be able to take dividend money, capital gains and principal out. RDA ने उन चीज़ों को, इन regulations को सिर्फ बहुत आसान कर दिया है for overseas Pakistanis. Otherwise, these regulations have been there for a long time and they're well understood and well ingrained in the system.
Thank you very much, Farooq. Our next question that has come from the audience is for State Bank, which is how can government assure security of funds and associated Farooq. Thank you very much, Farooq. Our next question is for State Bank, which is how can government assure security of the funds and associated investments for non-resident Pakistanis?
Ji, thank you for that question, Moses Saab. I think when it comes to the security of your funds, दो चीजें मैं कहना चाहूँगा. एक तो ये है कि we have chosen the banks very, very carefully. You will have noticed that not all of the banks operating in Pakistan are part of the Roshan Digital account. And one of the reasons is that we wanted to ensure that these were the banks that had the best online systems, the most secure systems, so that there would be no data integrity or compromise of personal information that people are sharing. So, ek to on the security of your information, this is what I want to say. In terms of the, of course, people often talk about 1998. Unfortunately, that was a time when the government was in not a very good shape economically and had to freeze foreign currency accounts. Now, on that front, I would say two things. One is that there was actually an ordinance passed in 2001. It's called the Foreign Currency Account Protection Ordinance. In Pakistan, it's become a law as well, which gives protection now to all foreign currency accounts that are held in Pakistan, including those by overseas Pakistanis. And the Supreme Court has ruled that those accounts should be fully secure and should be available to the account holders anytime that they want, so that a repeat of the kind of experience that we had in 1998 becomes impossible. The other thing I would say, of course, is that every country learns from its experiences, and I think there is wide recognition now that that was not a good thing that and therefore going forward, I think across the board there is the commitment to not allowing something like that to happen again. And the final thing I will say is that actually, in terms of Pakistan's economic fundamentals, they're much better now than they were back in the late 1990s. In fact, they're much better than they were even a few years ago. If you look at, as Maheen was saying, if you look at our current account position, if you look at our foreign reserves, if you look at our exchange rate, they're all performing very, very well. And therefore, we feel that Pakistan's future is going to be very different from its past. There will not even be a need to even contemplate taking such drastic measures going forward. Thank you.
थैंक यू वेरी मुर्तज़ा साहब. मुर्तज़ा साहब, वाइल्स यू आर ऑन, आप दूसरा सवाल भी मैं आपसे पूछ लेता हूँ. उसमें यह है कि द क्वेश्चन इज इन द इवेंट ऑफ एनी पॉलिटिकल और इकोनॉमिक अनसर्टेनिटी और इन द केस देयर इज एनी रेट कट्स लोकली और ग्लोबली, can the profit returns on NPC be revised or they will remain the same? You answered that question in a different way पहले, but मैंने कहा जिस टाइप जो स्पेसिफिक सवाल था वो मैं आपसे पूछ लूँ.
जी, I think इसका जवाब भी वही है कि for now these are the rates that we have, and of course if you invest in a 5-year product or a 3-year product, 1 year, you are guaranteed those returns on the Naya Pakistan certificates for that period of time. What happens going forward, we'll have to see. But for now, we like these rates. We think they're the right rates. They do offer a bit of a premium to overseas Pakistanis. But as I said at the beginning, rightly so, because one of the major intentions behind this product is actually to say thank you to our overseas Pakistanis and to offer them rates that we think are going to be attractive for them. So we are committed to these rates for now. In the future, whether they go or down, we'll have to see.
ठीक है जी. So I think you've clarified this. मैं एज अ बैंकर भी ये वजाहत कर दूं कि स्कीम के तहत जिसने इन्वेस्टमेंट कर दी है, जिस दिन तक इन्वेस्टमेंट हो चुकी है और जिस रेट पे हो चुकी है, उस पूरे पीरियड के लिए जिसके लिए इन्वेस्टमेंट हुई हुई है वो रिटर्न लॉक हो जाता है, चाहे वो 3 महीने का हो या 5 साल का हो. तो उस दिन जो रेट प्रिवेलिंग हो रहे होते हैं वो लॉक हो जाते हैं इन्वेस्टमेंट पीरियड के लिहाज से. इसमें मूविंग ऑन टू द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन, फरूख या बदियुद्दीन साहब कैन आंसर दिस. उसमें एक सवाल ये है कि हाउ कैन वी इन्वेस्ट इन IPOs, इनिशियल पब्लिक ऑफरिंग में, और दूसरा एक सवाल ये है कि एक रेसिडेंट कस्टमर कैन ऑब्टेन टैक्स रिबेट्स अगर वो म्यूचुअल फंड में इन्वेस्ट करते हैं, वेयर इज अ नॉन रेसिडेंट पाकिस्तानी डजंट गेट दैट टैक्स रिबेट. सो व्हाट इज द इंसेंटिव फॉर देम और व्हाट आर द बेनिफिट्स फॉर देम टू इन्वेस्ट इन म्यूचुअल फंड्स थ्रू द RDA?
जरूर. I think बदी शायद है नहीं, तो I'll take the question. IPOs के अंदर जिस तरह बदी अभी एक्सप्लेन कर रहे थे कि अभी भी एक्चुअली आप IPOs में टेक पार्ट कर सकते हैं और RDA अकाउंट्स के थ्रू वो और आसान हो जाएगा. उसके साथ जो है हम लोग का IPO का सिस्टम है जो डिफरेंट बैंक्स के साथ कनेक्टेड है, CDC का, PSX का. तो आप IPO की वेबसाइट के थ्रू या थ्रू योर बैंक डायरेक्टली IPOs है जो सब एक पाकिस्तान का लार्जेस्ट फुटवेयर एक्सपोर्टर, उनका IPO हो रहा है और माशाल्लाह पहले 3 घंटे में जब बुक ओपन हुई तो वो फुली सब्सक्राइब हो गई थी. तो अब अगले 1-2 दिन जो IPO चलता रहेगा, आई एम श्योर ओवर सब्सक्रिप्शन बढ़ती जाएगी. और ये IPOs एक इनकरेजिंग एस्पेक्ट है जो कि पहले इतने नहीं हो रहे थे पाकिस्तान में, मगर इस साल जो है IPOs की बहुत फुल पाइपलाइन है जो कि अच्छी अपॉर्चुनिटी होती है इन्वेस्टर्स के लिए इनमें पार्टिसिपेट करके. जिस तरह मैंने कहा था कि ना सिर्फ बेनिफिट करें पाकिस्तान की इकोनॉमिक ग्रोथ से, मगर उससे आप कंट्रीब्यूट भी कर सकें म्यूचुअल फंड्स के लिए. और मैं मोहसिन एक चीज ऐड करना चाहूँगा कि ETFs आपके ओवरसीज पाकिस्तानीज एक्सचेंज ट्रेडेड फंड्स के साथ शायद फेमिलियर होंगे. ये probably से इस साल डिस्पाइट द लॉकडाउन हमने ETFs को जो है पाकिस्तान मार्केट में लॉन्च किया है. इसमें शरिया कंप्लायंट ETF भी हैं मीज़ान के, और बाकी एसेट मैनेजमेंट कंपनीज के 4 ETFs हैं और बाकी इन द पाइपलाइन. और ये एक बहुत अच्छा इंस्ट्रूमेंट है म्यूचुअल फंड्स की तरह छोटे रिटेल इन्वेस्टर्स के लिए कि आपको एक डाइवर्सिफाइड एक्सपोजर मिल जाता है टू द स्टॉक मार्केट एट अ वेरी लो कॉस्ट एंड विद वन ट्रेड थ्रू योर ब्रोकर. जहाँ तक टैक्स क्रेडिट की बात है म्यूचुअल फंड्स की, देखें टैक्स क्रेडिट्स जो हैं वो हर मुल्क में अपनी टैक्सेशन रिजीम के मुताबिक चलते हैं। पाकिस्तान में जो टैक्सेशन रिजीम है और जो आपके टैक्स रेजिडेंट है यहाँ पर, उनको उसके मुताबिक जो है टैक्स ट्रीटमेंट मिलती है। तो I think it is probably not possible, it is not possible कि वो टैक्स ट्रीटमेंट जो पाकिस्तान की है वो जहाँ पे भी आप टैक्स रेजिडेंट हैं वहाँ पर आपको मिल सके। तो आपकी जिस भी दुनिया के मुल्क में है जहाँ पे आप टैक्स रेजिडेंट हैं उसके मुताबिक आपकी जो है वो टैक्स ट्रीटमेंट होगी, जस्ट लाइक फॉर एनी अदर इन्वेस्टमेंट दैट यू may already be making.
Thank you very much, Farooq. We have essentially asked all the questions that came in, other than the fact that some of the questions were asked by various people. So I've sort of summarized and asked the questions that came up. So if there are no other questions, I would, is there another question? I think there's one more question that has come up, which I can ask before I just make some concluding comments. Smear, what if one has 2 or 3 accounts in different countries, or if in the same country with different banks, can they open an RDA account? Murtaza Saab?
Absolutely, ji. There's no restriction in terms of just having to have one account in one country. आपके जितने भी हों bank accounts multiple countries में हों, that is not a bar at all for opening a Roshan Digital account.
Thank you, Murtaza Saab. So I think listening to all the panelists for the benefit of our participants, it was very encouraging to hear words like game changer, ease of opening accounts, and जो product offering expand होती चली जा रही है, मुर्तज़ा साहब ने उस पे शेयर किया था, attractive return, and very importantly आप इसमें flexibility tenor की है, आप इस्लामिक करना चाहें, आप conventional करना चाहें, so it's a very comprehensive offering, and particularly taking into account the ease with which you can operate the account, and very importantly the repatriability, जिस पे बहुत ज़्यादा सवाल आए. So I think इनके तमाम features को अगर आप देखें तो in a short period of time ये features भी enhance होते जा रहे हैं, सहूलियात आसान कर दी गई हैं, टैक्स रिटर्न को सिंप्लीफाई कर दिया गया है. तो आई थिंक इट्स अ वेरी वेरी आई थिंक अट्रैक्टिव proposition for our overseas Pakistanis to be able to invest in this. So we hope कि इसमें बहुत अच्छा response आए. And before I conclude, I do want to thank the State Bank senior team and the working team, because Murtaza Saab और Governor Saab की leadership में the rest of the team actually has worked very, very hard. Initially with a fewer banks and then now with 9 banks, to be able to operationalize this mechanism in a relatively short period of time. And साथ साथ ये काम करते हुए स्टॉक एक्सचेंज के साथ, CDC के साथ और जो तमाम और स्टेक होल्डर्स हैं उनके साथ बहुत ज़्यादा काम हुआ है. प्राइम मिनिस्टर साहब का ये विजन था कि पाकिस्तानियों के लिए आसानी पैदा की जाए, जो कि आप सब ने सुना है कि बहुत हद तक ये आसानी पैदा कर दी गई है और इसमें मज़ीद एडिशंस करते चले जा रहे हैं. स्टेट बैंक की जो टीम है इस पर काम कर रहे हैं. सो मुर्तज़ा साहब, आई रियली वांट टू थैंक यू एंड द गवर्नर साहब एंड योर टीम. मैंने कई ओकेजन्स में पहले कहा है कि योर टीम हैज़ बीन अवेलेबल राउंड द क्लॉक, एक्सट्रीमली फोर्थकमिंग. जितनी हमने उनसे हेल्प मांगी है हर चीज़ में दे हैव बीन रिस्पॉन्सिव, और कोई चेंजेस भी होते हैं हम उनको उनके साथ शेयर करते हैं फीडबैक. तो बहुत ही अच्छी तरह से हमें सपोर्ट आप लोगों की तरफ से मिला है. वीव हर्ड द सेम थिंग फ्रॉम द स्टॉक एक्सचेंज, वीव हर्ड द सेम थिंग फ्रॉम बदियुद्दीन साहब. CDC की जो इसमें प्रेपरेशन है, इट इज़ ए रिलेटिवली रीजनेबल स्टार्ट ऑफ द इन्वेस्टमेंट्स इन द स्टॉक एक्सचेंज, बट इंशाल्लाह वी आर होपफुल कि इसमें बहुत ज़्यादा फ़ायदा होगा. Before I conclude, माइन साहिबा का भी मैं थैंक यू कहूँगा. शी इज़ बीन वेरी इन्वॉल्व इन दिस इनिशिएटिव. शी हैज़ अ वेल्थ ऑफ इन्फॉर्मेशन जो उन्होंने हमारे साथ नॉलेज शेयर किया. ताहिर एज ए क्लासिकल जो हमारा एक क्लाइंट टारगेट मार्केट होता है, ताहिर इज़ अ परफेक्ट वन. दैट्स व्हाई वी रिक्वेस्टेड हिम टू जॉइन. सो ताहिर, आई एम डिलाइटेड टू हियर कि आपकी जो इनिशियल फ्रस्ट्रेशंस कुछ सालों पहले थी, they have all been overcome and you feel greatly encouraged for the investment. And finally, Ambassador साहब, बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया आपका. At a short notice आपने हमारी request पे you agreed to come and speak. And as I said in my comments कि UAE से सबसे ज़्यादा flow आए हैं, तो आपका जो इसमें सपोर्ट है वो हम सब के लिए, पाकिस्तान के लिए बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है। तो बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया एम्बेसडर साहब आपका ज्वाइन करने का, एंड थैंक यू वेरी मच टू एवरीवन एंड ऑल द पार्टिसिपेंट्स। फॉर एनीबडी हु नीड्स मोर इन्फॉर्मेशन, अगर आप हमारी वेबसाइट पे जाएं, ये टिकर चल रहा है उस पर, यू विल गेट ऑल द इन्फॉर्मेशन। सिमिलरली स्टेट बैंक की वेबसाइट पे आप जाएं तो वहाँ से भी आपको इन्फॉर्मेशन मिल जाएगी। हमारा 24/7 कॉल सेंटर इज अवेलेबल टू फैसिलिटेट any person who needs any help, whether with account opening or for any information that is required. So thank you very much, Ji. Khuda Hafiz, and all the best to everyone.
Thank you
Thank
so
you
much,
very
Murtaza.
much.
Thank you,
Thank
ji.
you, Murtaza
Khuda
Saab. Thank you.
Hafiz, ji.
बहुत शुक्रिया जी।
खुदा हाफिज़।